Christian boy.
I swear to God.
They're gonna hit it.
I swear to God, if you talk like that.
Man, well, what an intro. Welcome to the Star Wars podcast.
Open it, Christian.
Go ahead,
Open
Christian.
it.
Say that again.
Welcome everyone to the Triple Tap podcast.
Episode number 1.
Yeah, episode 1. Man, it's
Episode 2.
Episode
Episode
number
2,
Triple
yeah.
talk. I forgot.
We just haven't done this in a long time, and I'm very excited for this one. We're talking about Star Wars this time.
Woohoo!
I'm here, Christian, Jack, and JP. All three of us are here for this one.
It would be incomplete otherwise.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Hopefully we don't have a podcast out that doesn't have one of us here, but you never know. That may happen one day. But yeah.
Do you guys think that we're the first people to ever do a podcast about Star Wars?
Yes.
And do you think we're the only people that have sat down to come out with a podcast since The Last Jedi came out? Which we're recording this on, what day is today?
20th.
The 20th, December 20th. So Last Jedi's been out for
About a week.
About a
5
week.
days.
Yeah.
It's been about a week since the new movie came out. None of us have seen it twice, but we've all seen it one time. Yeah.
I would like to watch it again.
Yeah.
Because the first time I watched it, I was feeling pretty bad. Like, I was
Under the
pretty
weather.
under the weather. So I was sitting there the whole time like, but I still very much enjoyed the movie. So I guess that makes me a fake Star Wars fan.
Yeah. So the general consensus, I
Nice.
can't say that
That's
word.
a hard one. That is a hard one.
But out of all three of us enjoyed the film, correct?
Yeah, I'm going to try to play devil's advocate, though, even though I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
I'm going to do my best to come at it from their perspective, too.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that as well. I've seen many videos bashing the movie, saying how it's not a good Star Wars film, which I would have to disagree with those people on. I thought it was a fantastic Star Wars film, and we'll get into why. But so all three of us liked it. If you're watching this and for some reason you haven't seen the movie yet, basically what I'm going to say is,
What's wrong with you?
what's wrong with you, first of all?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert from
Stop watching until you've watched it.
Yeah, from this point forward, we're really going to do spoilers.
I'm about to spoil it. You better pause right now if you haven't seen it. I swear to God. Luke dies. There you go.
There you go.
You better freaking have paused it. You can't blame me.
Yeah, so,
But does he really, though?
yeah,
Yeah, he's
we're,
gonna. I mean,
we'll get into that.
he's gonna come back for this. The simple reason is because he said he's gonna give Rey 3 lessons and he only gave her 2. So he's gonna come back as a Force Ghost and give her the 3rd lesson in Episode 9. For sure.
Yep.
I didn't even catch that.
That's a definite.
Yeah, so we're going to start off kind of near the beginning of the movie. We're going to kind of break down this movie, and then we'll go into other theories and stuff, and then whatever we want to talk about really
Yeah,
after
I think
that.
like, the importance of this movie in all of Star Wars, like the whole canon and the universe and everything the repercussions it has, and on the real world. Like, Star Wars is the biggest pop culture phenomenon
Series. Yeah.
Ever. Like,
of
ever.
anything else in the world ever. It's the biggest thing in the world. It's huge. Star Wars is huge.
Like,
So
if I would say now, I think more people know about Star Wars in the world. This is me saying, like, I'm taking the world into consideration. I think more people in the world will know what Star Wars is before Mickey Mouse. Like, now.
before Mickey Mouse,
Before Mickey
Yeah.
Mouse, I don't agree with that.
I
But
think...
I would say.
I think they're in the same boat now since Disney
yeah,
owns
Disney
Star
owns
Wars.
them.
Yeah,
But
but...
I feel like Disney's happy either way.
yeah.
But I would compare it to something like Pokemon, which is, worldwide.
Yeah.
I think more people like
I
Star
mean,
Wars. than-
anyone over probably like 10 years old, it's like 99% sure
but
that
then
they know
but
Star Wars.
their audience, like, they're aiming for people that are
Older.
below 10.
Yeah.
With
because
Porg.
because the whole reason they make the movies is to sell toys.
Yeah.
So they're selling Porg toys, they're selling BB-8 toys.
That was the main beef that I
selling-
had with that movie. Is
With the
that
Porgs?
the only reason that the Porgs were in the movie was to have something that they could make merchandise for.
Yeah.
They're like minions
Yeah.
of the Star Wars universe. They're
Yeah.
tiny.
Well,
they make noises. They're useless
They
towards
had-
the plot.
it's not like they've never done that before.
Yeah.
A lot of the things that I'm gonna bring up are complaints that people have about the movie, but they may not realize that those exact same things that they're complaining about existed in the original trilogy, and you love them in
Yeah.
the original trilogy.
Ewoks.
So you're just, I'm talking to you, the person who doesn't like this movie. You are just looking at the movie with these blinders on, that it's just this awful thing because that's what the internet says. You know, on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 92% by critics, but the fan meter is a 52%.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference.
Last we checked.
I checked like 5 minutes ago.
Oh,
I
okay.
literally, like, that's huge.
Yeah.
There's not many movies that have such a big gap between fans and critics and, like,
Yeah, and
how
I
they
guess
feel about it.
I guess there is a difference between a fan perspective and a critic perspective.
Looking at it as a movie on, like, independent of...
independent of the lore.
Yeah.
Cinematic masterpiece.
Critics, I think they are subjected to that in a little ways, and this is many people are going to argue, like the point I'm going to bring up right now. The critics aren't supposed to be like, they can be huge Star Wars fans, but they have to review the movie as
Unbiased.
unbiased and as a movie,
Mm-hmm.
not as a franchise. I guess they have.
Do you think that-
that's why they have to do it?
Do you
Yeah.
think that this movie was burdened by the fact that it is the 8th movie or the 9th movie in a franchise?
Well, I don't think so, because, I mean, if Star Wars was gonna die out, it would have died out after Episode 2, I would say.
When people realized the prequels were garbage.
Yes, I think after that, I don't think they would have made that many Star Wars things after all the prequels. I don't think they. That's why it took so long for these newer movies to come out. That's personally.
It's going to take a property like Disney to come along and purchase this franchise to, like, revive it.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to put the amount of money into it that it would require unless you're Disney or a huge company.
Mm-hmm.
Because they saw the reaction that people had to the prequels. So,
They didn't want to do
yeah.
that.
Man, the last time someone made a Star Wars movie, everyone hated it. Let's
Yeah.
not do that.
But people realized how cool the Star Wars universe was.
Yeah. Well,
And, like,
I think that is the biggest problem with making a Star Wars movie. So, do you guys remember when The Force Awakens came out? What did people say? People hated it
Yeah.
because it was so similar to A New Hope. And how could they do that? They just wasted my time. I just watched A New Hope, but in 2016.
yeah.
So,
What's
was
it,
that what it was?
2015 or 16?
It was 15 because Rogue One came
Yeah.
out last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just a newer A New Hope. So I think that was the right thing to do.
But yeah,
because,
that's what people liked.
yeah, they're like, oh, that works. So let's do that because we're going to play it safe.
Yeah.
Disney's going to play it safe going into it. And then what did The Empire Strikes Back do? I wasn't born in the 70s, so I didn't see it when it came out. But I know how people felt about it because history exists. When The Empire Strikes Back came out, people hated it
Yeah.
because it was so different from A New Hope, and it ended on a very somber note. Luke got his hand chopped off and found out that the leader of the Empire was his father, and pretty much all hope was lost.
Yeah.
And people were like, what the fuck? Like, this
Why would you
sucks.
do that?
Yeah, like, why
Yeah.
would you make this movie? And now it's one of the most highly acclaimed, most beloved movies of all time.
Like,
Not just Star Wars movies, just movies.
people like Star Wars fans that are hating on this movie, that is their favorite movie.
It's everyone's favorite movie. But at the time, it was a travesty.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what's happening with this movie right now. I'm willing to bet that if we go forward 30 years, people are going to be like, "Oh, that movie was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie was great."
Now they may not be like, oh, that movie is the best Star Wars movie.
There's always
I-
going to be a sense of nostalgia for the original ones.
Yeah. But I definitely think this is going to just pass over. I think people are just too scared of different. And not to say, oh, this movie was so different, it was good, and that's what made it good. No, it definitely was a Star Wars movie. And definitely had a lot of Star Wars traits and a lot of loss in it.
Yeah, it fit in the Star Wars film saga pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
But it was different enough. It was very different from Force Awakens because it was
Yeah.
made by a different guy. It wasn't J.J. Abrams. It was Ryan Johnson. Ryan, R-I-A-N, spells your name really weird.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I don't like about that guy. He spells his name weird.
Name.
But he made a good movie.
Is he directing 9?
J.J. Abrams is directing 9.
Yeah.
So you're going back.
So they're going back. It's not because they don't like him. They actually like him so much that they gave him the rights. They already announced it. He's making his own trilogy
Yeah.
that they've announced. So that's what a lot of people think, that the scene at the very end of the movie with that little kid and the broom, and he pulls the broom, people think that may be, hyping up his own work.
That's cool. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. He may be self-promoting.
So is
with
it?
a little thing at
It's
the end.
gonna be
It's
like-
just gonna be like a.
But even
It's
if
gonna-
it isn't, that was a very important scene in the movie.
I think it's gonna what was that guy's the director's name? Not J.J. Abrams.
Ryan Johnson?
Ryan Johnson. So he's making his own trilogy.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's going to come out after 9.
I'm assuming it's gonna have the feel of the show that's going on right now on Disney XD, the Star Wars Rebels.
Oh, God, I hope not.
But like, and not in the
More
sense
Clone
like,
Wars.
That's good shit right there.
not in the sense that like, it's gonna be like that show. I think it's gonna have the same feel as like, okay, there's new Jedi that we've never heard of, and there's a new group of people that we've never heard of, and here's their story. Or it may be separate, like little chopped up, like different Jedi's beginnings, like multiple, and then they all come together at the end.
People,
But
the Star Wars is about the Skywalker family. So people thought that Rey was going to be in some way like a Skywalker.
yeah,
Or, something like that to continue the lineage. But I think the point that Ryan Johnson was making by putting that little force, that bit with he pulls the broom, he put that at the end of the movie to show that it confirmed Rey is actually a nobody that was revealed in this movie, that her parents were just nobodies. She isn't this daughter of Skywalker or Kenobi or anyone like that. She's just a nobody, and the Force is prevalent in the galaxy without the Skywalkers. It's everywhere. So there's going to be random kids getting born with Force abilities.
well, their metachlorian levels going through the roof.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever that means. Thanks, George. But that was one of the biggest themes of the movie, I think, that he was trying to deliver.
That
And
last 30 seconds.
the last little bit, but it
Yeah.
also had another meaning, which was the thing that Rose said. Rose, by the way, is one of the only characters that I didn't really like in the movie.
Not a lot of people liked her.
Didn't really like her. The thing when she kissed Finn, that was freaking weird.
The best analogy, PewDiePie used this analogy. It was like, I said this the other night. We were talking about the films, but in lesser detail because we were going to do this podcast. I was like, PewDiePie said that it was like a brother and his sister kissing, but not like the Luke and Leia kiss.
Yeah, I mean,
It was very
Very
odd.
awkward.
yeah, it was way more awkward than Luke and Leia, who are actually brother and sister.
Yeah.
And like, it was, Finn didn't move his face at all. She kissed him, he was just like,
Yeah.
completely still.
Stone face.
Yeah, because she just saved his life for no reason. Like, the point that she was trying to make, which is the point that Ryan Johnson was trying to make, is that all the people that keep dying for this cause, it's not worth it. It's more important to save the lives of the people who believe in this thing to keep the thing alive.
Yeah.
They call it a spark throughout the whole movie, to keep the spark alive. It's so when Poe gets all those people killed in the beginning, the lesson that he learns, his character development throughout the movie, it ends with him going, no, let's not fight. Let's, retreat and we'll group together and then we'll come back stronger. So it's not always like rush in and fight and sacrifice yourself because it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So
You don't
I
always have to
personally
be the
think,
hero.
yeah, like, because if it's for the greater good, it's more important that you're alive. So that's why Rose saved Finn. But I think it would have been way cooler if Finn had killed himself, personally, because what are they gonna do with Finn?
I agree.
What are they gonna do with him? He did nothing in this movie. He's not gonna do anything in the next movie unless JJ is really smart.
I think the reason that they
Which
kept
he
him-
is.
Yeah.
But I think the reason that they kept him is because it's not Star Wars if there's not a romance. And there's really no characters in the movies right now that have a romance.
Except Ray
A
and
romantic.
Kylo. which is
do it.
badass. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was like
It's like a forced romance. Like it's not like a love.
at times it felt
It's
you know
it
lovey
was
dovey.
super intimate. The whole like that was one of the best parts of the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
every time they had a force projection conversation thing, so cool.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of the movie.
And those were
favorite
the,
parts.
the best acted scenes. Adam Driver and Daisy Ridley were freaking good throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
And the scene where they fight the Praetorian guards was probably the second coolest thing that happened in the whole movie.
What was the first?
When Holdo turned the ship around and light speeded it through the giant First Order ship.
Yeah.
And that like it was just completely silent.
We'll talk about
Badass.
the
Good job.
the
Ryan
guard
Johnson.
fight first.
Yeah, the guard fight was really cool because you'd never seen they're basically the new royal guards, Sidious's red guards.
Yeah.
You never seen them do anything except stand there. So when they finally pull
And
out
then
their
die.
weapons and they all have super badass, unique weapons,
Yeah,
each one of
that
them
was
is
cool.
different, and it's like you have to figure out how to fight them all differently. And like Rey and Kylo go back to back.
And like
Badass.
fighting, yeah.
And I'll go back to the scene in a little bit because it'll lead into a different point that I want to make. But that scene is freaking cool when they're, back to back fighting and then she like throws him the lightsaber and he stabs the guy in
Yeah.
the eye with it.
Well, you got to see like their fighting styles too, because
Yeah.
Kylo is just brute. Like
It's like a broadsword.
yeah,
basically
just
his lightsaber.
give me just all
Stand
your
in front of
power
me.
and let me just show you that I am stronger.
Yeah.
But then Rey is a
More-
little clueless, or not
Yeah.
clueless, but she's not as comfortable, but she's very creative.
Yeah.
So like,
And she's
she's
just
able to save her ass.
naturally good
Yeah.
with the Force. It's just like it comes naturally.
right?
Yeah, and a lot of people were bothered by that fight scene only because
Kylo wasn't shirtless?
no,
Me too.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, honestly, if he wasn't like
I don't know why Ray said to put a robe
Yeah.
on. I mean, like,
uh,
He wasn't
take it
that-
take
off.
more off. Like, but no, people were like, how does she know how to use this lightsaber without any training? People have like in the prequels, they bring up the prequels like they're supposed to mean something.
Yeah.
Like in the prequels, they're all training and they're all doing this thing, one thing or another. I don't think they realize like the Force is like really strong in this whole universe. Like it is that strong that you kind of. The reason why people trained is to learn how to use the Force with, like, have more control of the Force, right?
Yeah.
Like they learned how to control it more. It wasn't that they just didn't know how to fight. It was so that they can control it more. I think that was what Rey was struggling with in this movie, was how does she control all this power? And that she did say that to Luke. Like she's like, I got all this power and I don't know what to
I
do
need
with
help.
it. Like I think that's what people aren't seeing, that like you don't need special training, even though training does help control the Force. You just don't need training to like know how to use it, I guess.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm conveying that
Does
correctly.
does the Force see? I don't. You might not know the question, but does the Force work to where like there is, there's a limited amount, and the more people using it, the less, like the less powerful it is.
No, but the way that it works is what Luke talks about in this movie. He explains it really well. It's all about balance. So the Force is not good and it's not bad.
Right.
The Force is completely neutral, and it comes up a lot in the movie. So in the prequel time, when there's like a million Jedi, there's not much. There's a lot of good because there's all these Jedi,
Yeah.
but there's only 2 Sith. So
But they're
there's
super
a
powerful.
giant war going on because the bad has to equal the good. It
Yeah.
has to balance out. That's just how the Force is. It has to be balanced. So in this movie, the theme of balance comes up a lot. Like the whole thing that happened to make these movies exist is that Luke tried to kill Kylo because he sensed the bad in him, and then was so ashamed that he cut himself off from the Force. So he just blocked it out from his life.
Yeah.
So the bad that existed in Snoke and then now Kylo had to be countered by something. So Rey exists because she is the good
And she's
that
super
existed
strong.
in the place of Luke.
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing that the Force does to show that it's all about balance and not good or evil is that kind of helps you. Like, a lot of people saw into the future in this movie with the Force, but they didn't see it correctly, and they misinterpreted with their vision.
It's like that's
Because-
a Raven.
That's what I was just
Yeah,
thinking. I was gonna
because
say
the
it,
Force,
though.
the Force, yeah, it's just like That's a Raven has. It's in the canonical Star Wars universe. That's a Raven.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
So is Corey in the house.
Raven.
That's who Snoke is. Corey.
This whole
It makes
time.
sense.
Everyone's complaining that they never went into who Snoke was. It's Corey.
It's Corey, guys. We figured it out.
The best anime.
Yeah. So what happens is Rey,
Memer.
Rey, when they touch, Rey sees into Kylo's future and Kylo sees into Rey's future.
Mm-hmm.
Rey says that she sees Kylo killing Snoke. That like she's like in the future you're gonna turn on him, and then she says you won't bow to Snoke, is what she says. You won't bow to him, which means like you're gonna turn on him.
Yeah, you're gonna take over.
And then Kylo says, we're going to fight side by side. Like, I see you fighting with me. Both of those things happen, but not in the way that
Yeah.
they think they're going to. Like, Kylo doesn't bow to Snoke. He turns the lightsaber and kills him, which he didn't think was going to happen. And then they do fight side by side, but they're not friends at the end.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that she joined him.
Yeah.
They fought for their lives.
Yeah, and then
not-
even Snoke says, like, I can see into the future. I can see your every move. I see what Kylo's going to do. He's going to take that lightsaber, and he's going to kill you with it. And then takes the lightsaber and kills him with it. So
Yeah.
it's like...
That was... I've talked to a couple people, and they didn't like that scene. But, like, that was badass.
When he turns the lightsaber?
Yeah, they showed, like, both lightsabers.
Yeah.
One would turn, and then the other would turn. Like, that was... I love that.
Yeah, that was really well done. I mean, that was exactly... Like, it's the perfect example of the balance in the Force, is that it tells you... It can tell you something about the future, but it's not going to give you all the good or all
It's
the
not
bad.
clear. Yeah, it's not...
Yeah. It's up to you to figure out what it means.
Yeah.
And so that's probably one of the biggest themes of the whole movie is
Yeah.
the Force being balanced. And it does tie into the thing with the prequels where there's all this good and it's spread out so thin that there's this
See? So
little
it
bit
is
of bad.
kind of like...
It's in a way, I
kinda
think that
like-
people will disagree with that,
Yeah.
but I can get it there.
See, I'm
I
not,
can
like...
thought process it there.
Yeah, I'm not I don't do my research on Star Wars and know all the background stuff. Jack is... He's watched all the
I-
Clone Wars.
I
and-
freaking love Star Wars, and
Yeah.
so I'm sure there's a lot of people on the internet that are that they love listening to Star Wars fanboys talk about the movies. And
Yeah.
it was one of the things
This
I
is
was
your
going to say
Star
in the
Wars
beginning.
fanboy
This is
talking
it, yeah.
about the movie.
Yeah, so enjoy this. It's one of the things that, along with being the biggest pop culture phenomenon ever, you're gonna have a giant fan base, and the fan base is gonna get really attached to their idea of what the world is like. So when you come out with a movie that isn't what they think it is, like in their own heads, they're gonna hate it. And it's
At
a joke.
first.
It's a joke that people make, is that Star Wars fans hate Star Wars more than anyone else,
Yeah.
which is it's oxymoronic, but it's pretty true. A lot of Star Wars fans, they hate. They like the original trilogy. They hate all the prequels. They hated Force Awakens. They hated Rogue One, and they hate this one. That means you only like 3 out of 9
Yeah.
movies. You're not a fan. If
Phantom
you-
Menace, best movie. You're
Jar
leaving
Jar
that one
best
out.
character.
Yeah, Jar Jar best character.
Yeah. I want to kind of go from that. I kind of want to go back to the movie and kind of talk about the casino planet. And I want
Canto
to,
Bite.
yeah, I wanted to talk about that and see what y'all thoughts were about that whole planet, because personally, I really did like. I agree with a lot of people. It didn't fit in entirely, and it could have really all been avoided, and it could have been it could have been just a 2-hour movie instead of 2.5.
Yeah.
But I thought it was out of place. I thought
Yeah.
it was good.
I think it could have been in like a TV series, like the Clone Wars style episode,
Yeah.
and it could have been its own deal.
Yeah.
and then it
because-
would have been good.
But
Yeah, they didn't need to leave the ship.
Mhm.
You know, they didn't accomplish anything. They almost died, but because it's Star Wars and
main characters don't
Yeah.
just die in the middle of the movie.
right, they made it out, made it home, or where the rebel base was, and then there really wasn't any point to what they did. They didn't really learn
Yeah.
anything from it, which I guess like
all they
it
learned.
introduced the stable boy, which is a big huge
The
part.
reason that the scene was in the movie, and I didn't really like it either, but the reason it was in the movie was because the end, like when Rose gives the little rebel thing, little symbol to the
The
boy.
ring, yeah.
He gives the ring to the boy. It is supposed to show that it's a spark. So like, all it takes is this one group of people to show up. This black dude and this Asian girl
Yeah.
show up, and they give you this little rebel ring, and you've been lit. The spark is spreading
With a new hope.
with
And I don't think,
Yeah,
I don't think
okay.
it's coincidence. I think it was the Force working that
And-
she gave that ring to that kid on purpose.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
It was meant to be
in the
like,
universe.
It,
but
that was legit. That was like legit Force stuff going
Yeah.
on.
And it is one of the biggest complaints. I think I say this to about every complaint. One of the biggest complaints, but I think it actually is. It all could have been avoided, and like that whole Canto Bite bit and Poe's mutiny
If the
could have been
purple-haired
avoided
lady-
if Holdo had just told Poe what the plan was. The defense to that is that there's a chain of command and it exists for a reason, and every single group of people ever have had a chain of command, and you just got demoted from your position because you got a whole bunch of people killed. Why do I need to tell you what's going on?
yeah, I'm higher command.
I
They
am
listen
in
to
charge
me.
of this, and if you just listen to me, everything would be fine. They wouldn't have gotten caught going to the planet because Benicio del Toro's character ruined the whole ploy on the big ship where Finn and Poe and him, I forget his character's name,
Yeah,
the hacker guy.
stutter guy.
Yeah, he's the one that told them that they're going to the planet. So like, it wouldn't have happened if Poe hadn't not trusted the plan. Which, I guess if you don't know the plan, you can't trust it. But he didn't trust a person.
Yeah,
If Leia is going to come in and say she's in charge while I just
away.
post Superman,
Yeah.
which people didn't like that either. I thought that was kind of, it was cool, but it was also weird.
Yeah.
But like, if you're not, trust this lady,
yeah.
and everything will work out. And if he would have, it would have. But Poe had to learn his character. He had to go through his
Yeah,
development.
it was appropriate for character
Yeah.
development, but for cinematic purposes, they could have taken those 30 minutes out of the movie
Yeah, for sure.
and put it in
Or at least cut
an
it
episode.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those scenes, like they were visually
No, they
very
were
appealing.
excellent.
Like I was, that was just eye candy the whole time.
But then like BB-8, that was like his time to shine. That was really all he did in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
He didn't
then-
really
and then
have
when he-
any-
when he saves them at the end.
Right.
Yeah, which wouldn't happen. Yeah, wouldn't happen if they hadn't gone
He
there.
was. I mean,
Yeah.
That, I don't know.
You
That
see-
that whole scene could have been avoided.
Mm-hmm.
See,
But it was cool.
I liked this movie a lot because each character, even if they died, did go through a lot of character development. Like you saw, like even Chewie, you saw like he wasn't doing anything.
He wanted
but-
to eat the porg, and the porg
Yeah.
stared at him, and he didn't eat the porg.
Didn't need the point.
No,
that
but
was
like-
that was very funny.
yeah,
people
that was a good.
Talk about humor in a little bit because people hated the humor in this movie. It's very similar to the original trilogy.
Yeah.
So
Well, I felt in the beginning.
that joke,
was gonna
that
say-
gag was Guardians of the Galaxy straight out. They pulled it from the script of Guardians 3.
What?
Yeah.
The
Cooking the pork?
Poe and the Hux in the very beginning of the movie.
Oh, yeah,
the prank
yeah,
call.
When he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you," like that bit.
Right.
It's
I
It's
thought
very funny, but it wasn't Star Wars funny.
it made me nervous because it
Yeah.
wasn't Star Wars.
Yeah.
And like, I guess that's Poe's character, but
he did
you know,
he did a very similar thing in the beginning of Force Awakens with Kylo.
yeah,
He was
Poe
like,
and Han
yeah,
are
what happens?
very.
Do I talk first? You talk first. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But they kind of overdid it in this one. I think it was a little too long.
Yeah.
Well, Poe and Han have like, on the surface, the same character, just like this, like the second in command of Leia, that drove into the Lightspeeded. What's her name?
Holdo,
Holda. She called him like this,
Flyboy.
flyboy.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of character, and it was very funny, like right in the beginning, but like you said, it wasn't Star Wars,
Yeah.
and that's what made me nervous. But they fixed it.
I mean, yeah, that was
Shortly
probably the
after.
only. I mean, I thought it was funny, but it was
would have
the
worked
only
in a
joke that was
different-
kind of out of place.
Yeah. It would have worked in a different movie, not
Yeah.
Star Wars.
I think that the rest of the jokes, like the major ones, like the Chewie eating the porg was funny, and then Luke throwing the lightsaber over his shoulder was straight out of Return of the Jedi when he threw his lightsaber off to the
Yeah.
side and said, like, I'm not going to use it. Did the same exact thing. He was like, nope, gone. So if you hate that, you
I
hate on
think
original trilogy
the
stuff,
little
again.
like maid ladies that were on the Luke's island.
Yeah.
That was very Star Wars humor-esque.
Yeah, when like the rock falls and
Yeah, like the Jawa. You have these little people running around,
Mm-hmm.
and just unfortunate things happen to it, and they're like, "Oh man!"
Yeah.
and it's like, "Ha, that's kind of funny."
And then the other one of the funniest parts was the scene where he's like reach out, and then she reaches out, and then he takes the leaf and like
Oh yeah,
puts
can
her
you
fingers-
feel this?
Like, can you feel it? She's like, oh,
I forgot about that.
She's like, oh, I feel something. Like that's funny, and then he
Yeah.
slaps her hand. That's Star Wars funny.
But that was like, I felt that was Luke.
That was that's Luke's character.
That's Luke's
Luke has
character.
always been
This
this
little humorous,
like goofy, goofy dude, and
awkward.
Then very awkward.
Like he
And then he didn't like the Jedi. Like, he did exactly. It's the same thing. People hate the fact that Luke was like, no more Jedi, because people are like, Luke is a Jedi.
Yeah.
but he didn't like the Jedi in Empire and Return of the Jedi. He didn't like them. He became a Jedi, but he didn't like it. Like in Empire, Yoda was like, if you won't finish your Jedi training, if you go help your friends right now.
He's like,
If you
yeah,
give into
okay,
emotion, he's
bye.
like, okay, bye. And then in Return of the Jedi, the Emperor's like, if you give into your anger, you'll become a Sith. And he's like, okay. And he gave into his anger, and he was like, nah,
Yeah,
I'm
not.
good. I'm good. Like, I'm done. And then so he defied both of these like huge
Laws, I
figures in the Jedi and Sith worlds.
Yeah.
And he was just Luke. And then he became this like legend because he was the only Jedi in the whole galaxy
Left,
for
yeah.
like 20 years. So that's
Until-
why he became this big legend. He wasn't like this huge proponent of the Jedi ways.
yeah,
And then
he was just the only one.
yeah, and then he goes to burn down the tree with all the books inside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yoda.
And-
Can we talk
and-
about Yoda?
And he doesn't do it, and then Yoda shows up. That was great.
Dude.
That was one of the best parts of the movie. Is
Yeah.
when Yoda shows up.
Yoda really like that was just the cherry on top for me. Like out of all the stuff, the whole movie
And it
was cool.
It was puppet Yoda, and it was Frank Oz, the original voice.
That's what I
Yes.
was gonna say.
It was-
It's
yes.
like
It was
I
this-
was scared that once I saw Yoda, it was gonna be the prequels Yoda, like this little tiny
Yeah.
badass, little tiny like jump around all over the place, dude.
You can't see, but JP's like
The
shaking
movement
his
moving
on,
arm.
on,
yeah.
yeah.
But it was the little, like you said, puppet.
It was puppet
You know,
Yoda.
they could have made him
And he was goofy.
whatever they wanted. Yeah,
Like when
was
Luke
like,
when Luke meets Yoda in Empire, it takes him a while before he's actually serious at all. He's extremely goofy. He's like picking through R2 and like eating
Yeah.
his food and stuff. And then finally he
Beating
says some
R2.
wisdom
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. And then he goes with on his wisdom route, and then he's serious from then on out. But it's like he's a goofy old dude
Yeah.
who lived by himself for 100 years. That's not true. He lived by himself for a long time though.
yeah.
But it's that was cool. And then he Luke's like, I'm not gonna burn it down, and then he strikes it with lightning.
Yeah.
And so
you
Luke's
give
like,
a little chuckle,
yeah,
a little
and
Yoda chuckle.
and then Yoda says like, oh, those books like that you're worried about, page turners. Like,
yeah,
those are real. They're real
I've read
page
all of
turners.
those 3 times.
Yeah, have you read them? And like Luke's like, and then it turns out that Rey stole them.
Yeah.
So she has 'em.
You see at the end of the movie, like when they're going through the Millennium Falcon, like all the nice shots and like all the characters
All the
are there.
porgs,
Yeah.
the porgs are tucked into the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, God, you fucking porgs.
They're gonna be everywhere.
They're like minions.
Yeah. So and then she opens up the like thing to put something in like a drawer or take something out, and all the books are there, so they never really were destroyed.
yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. If anyone like caught that, like
Yeah,
it was,
there
like,
were a bunch
thing.
of like subtle things at the end, like towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
They just, if you saw it, you saw it,
Yeah.
but it wasn't. It's for the fanboys.
I think
it's not for the general
Yeah,
audience.
and the whole thing with the books is extremely for the fanboys because if you actually know what it is, it's super cool. The book that
It's like, no,
the
they
main
just
book
burned them.
is really interesting. It's called the Order of the Wills, and it's not like WILL. It's WHILS.
What does that mean?
The Wills are what George Lucas's original idea for the Force, like it was drawn from. So the original draft for this movie, A New Hope, it was supposed to be written from the perspective of this like omnipotent, force sensitive being that was looking at it like it's so much. It's above this problem that's taking place.
Yeah.
Just watching it
I'm
like
glad it's
unfold.
not
And
that.
but then the idea of the Wills became the Force, and they actually show up in the Clone Wars. Yoda meets the Wills, and they teach him.
So is that like a last name
bunch of
kind of
stuff.
deal? The Wills, or that's just like what they're called,
They're just called
basically? Okay.
Yeah, it's just like they're the name of their. They're not.
Squad.
They're not a species. They're just like a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you.
It's like they look like ghosts.
Yeah.
It's cool, and so that's like a big nod to
The fanboys.
if people who like Star Wars enough to know what that is.
Yeah. And there were also just other little things people picked apart But that's what I really see from all these people like criticizing the movie. They're picking. They're really nitpicking.
They're looking for things that are wrong because
Yeah.
people say this movie's so bad. So you go, is it? And you have to go back and look and go, oh yeah, I guess I can see how that's bad.
Yeah.
Now I think it's bad, and I'm going to advocate for the fact that it needs to be removed from canon.
That is ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, it's just
like,
it's just a joke basically. Like no one's taking that seriously.
but like, is somebody made that with a serious
I
intent?
mean, the
though.
people that signed it are serious, but no one
Wait,
else
what
in
are
the
you
whole
talking
world.
about?
There's a petition going around to remove
Oh,
the
yeah, I
movie
heard
from
about that,
canon.
actually.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you make a thing to petition the prequels not to be canon?
When has there ever been a petition that actually did something?
It's
Ever.
been a while. It's
Ever.
been
A big one.
When Luther he did the 99
Yeah.
That one.
Thesis,
Martin Luther
no.
99 Theses
Yeah.
to the church door. That was probably the one.
that was probably
It's been
one
since
of the
then.
only. I mean, I'm sure there's some in like schools that taken place. Like our high school had a couple petitions.
Well, no, yeah, we're talking big ones.
Actual
but,
Anyway,
things
back
that
to
matter.
what you were
But
saying.
yeah.
Irrelevant.
Yeah. It's yeah, people really are upset with Ryan Johnson. Poor guy. And his birthday was like a couple days ago. And his movie came
He's
out.
like, man, this is
and
gonna be awesome.
just
People are gonna like
shitting
my
on it.
movie. It's
Yeah.
gonna be my
Man.
birthday.
And because people are like, what a terrible idea to have someone direct the movie in the same trilogy, direct the next movie. How could you do that? They did that in the original trilogy
Yeah,
too.
hello.
you ding nuts. Episode 4 was directed by George Lucas. Episode 5 was directed by like
some
I think
guy.
his name was like Irvin Schaester.
Shyster or something.
Yeah, he was a Nazi. And then episode 6 was by a different guy, like a third person. So the original trilogy is beloved, and it's made by 3 different directors. This trilogy is going to be made by JJ, Ryan Johnson, and JJ.
Yeah.
So it's up to him. It's up to JJ Abrams whether he wants to roll with the storylines that Ryan Johnson introduced, or if he's going to kind of like make it more Force Awakens-y,
Yeah.
where he doesn't really go into the whole force projection thing, and it's going to be a responsibility of his to kill Leia,
Yeah.
which is going
It's
to be
gonna happen. It's
weird.
gonna have to happen at the beginning
It
of the
needs
movie.
to
It's going to be weird because it wasn't filmed, so they didn't
Just gonna
film her
have to
death scene. So like,
CGI.
but Disney said we will not disrespect Carrie Fisher by CGIing her character into the next movie.
Well, they might just say.
So they
might
may
start
still
it.
do it.
They
but
may start it with a funeral. They could do that.
They could do that.
either way, it's weird. It's going to be weird to not show. She's such a major character,
Yeah.
and they're not going to show her death.
Yeah.
It's going to be really weird.
Well,
It's either going to be a time skip, or they're just going to like,
It's-
oh, that Leia? Well, she's off doing something else.
Yeah. Boom, dead.
Important. Yeah.
it's just an odd situation for the director. I just feel bad because I know people are gonna shit on JJ because they didn't do this part right, and
Yeah.
that they thought Leia was gonna be like this. and
Everyone
then it's
has
like
different
that.
opinions. Like, there's no,
No,
right
yeah.
or wrong way to do it.
There's
Yeah.
not. I mean, there's,
That's what's so.
You're not gonna
Yeah.
please
hard
but that's
about this.
everyone.
That's the thing that's hard about this is that a lot of people don't have their own opinion. They're just hopping on the train
Yeah,
one way or the other.
hate train.
Either they hate it, even there's probably some people that hop on the I like it train, but they're not into the internet world and looking at what people are saying.
Well, also,
But like, it's on both sides. But you should have your own opinion.
yeah, most people that write opinions are more negative than positive.
Yeah.
Like on the internet.
And a lot of times they're just feeding to the fad that is going on at the moment. So there's probably a lot of articles that exist saying Last Jedi was so bad. Here's 10 reasons why, and you click on it.
Yeah,
And-
BuzzFeed.
Yeah, BuzzFeed or whatever. That's how it's definitely happening.
Yeah, and you know, with the next movie, I'm a lot of people are like, man, this movie dropped me off from Star Wars. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
don't believe
see-
that for a second.
I don't believe it for a second because everyone who watched this movie and watched the last movie are gonna watch the last movie. It's the last one in the trilogy. They're definitely gonna go back and watch it.
It's gonna be a banger.
I'm gonna
It's
go
gonna-
watch it because I want to know who Snoke is, and I know he's not gonna tell me, but I'm still gonna go watch it because I want to know who Snoke is.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna find
Yeah,
out
that kinda
until
sucks.
until they come out with some extended universe comic book or something that goes into Snoke's backstory.
Yeah.
But it's the same. This is the same way people felt about Return of the Jedi. The Emperor only showed up for a brief moment in Empire as a force, not a force, a projection.
Like
Hologram.
a hologram.
Hologram. Thank you.
Hologram.
Could not think of the word. And then in episode 6, he actually shows up. No one even knew his name at all. They didn't know. I don't even know if they said Sidious.
Yeah, they never gave him
They
a name.
just give him the Emperor. They didn't call him
Yeah.
Sheev Palpatine. They didn't call him Darth Sidious. I mean, they may have called him Darth Sidious. I don't remember. But either way, no one knows his real name. No one knows anything about him. He's just this old dude in power. Exactly like
That's
Snoke.
Snoke, yeah.
Yeah. And
Decrepit
it took
fetus.
years. It took till 1997 until you figure out that he was this senator from Naboo who melded his way into power and kicked out Chancellor Valorum and became Chancellor Palpatine. And then
What if we have to wait a long
puppet
time?
stringing. I think it's going to be some extended universe book or comic book
Yeah.
or something that comes out before
Well-
a movie that
Yeah.
reveals it.
Well, and speaking on top of like other movies and other books and stuff, what about that Han Solo movie that's coming out? Is that
Yeah,
a thing? Is it
that's-
happening?
I'm pretty sure that's a thing. I think it was
Yeah, I don't
confirmed.
know.
But then there was also the talk of an Obi-Wan movie.
I would love
I don't
that.
think that's confirmed. I don't think
How
it
would
is.
they do that?
Ewan McGregor. He wants it. He has said like time and time again. He's like, I want to play Obi-Wan again, and they don't want him. They're like, no, we'll hire anyone else.
Oh, God, that
Dude,
would kill me
I
as
would
an actor.
hate that.
Oh my
Well,
lord.
what other movies is he in?
He's a well-known actor in Europe.
in Europe.
Yeah, he's
So
in
that's
a
why
lot
we
of
don't
movies.
know him.
He's in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And like the prequel trilogy is different from the original trilogy in that every single actor in the original trilogy, their career was one way or another ruined
Not-
by the trilogy, except for Harrison Ford. He was the only one that got another part. But even then, everyone's like, "You're Han Solo," because the rest of the actors
Yeah.
in Star Wars aren't anything else
Except
in a
for
major
Yeah.
movie.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Saying in the prequels, it's different.
Oh yeah.
Liam Neeson, Samuel L. Jackson,
The original,
Natalie Portman,
yeah.
Keira Knightley—they're all well-known people. And
Well, Mark Hamill went to voice acting.
Mark Hamill had to go to voice acting.
Yeah.
It's like your career is ruined if you're in Star Wars. Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver. Adam Driver was in stuff before Star Wars, but
he
Yeah.
is.
he's gonna be Kylo.
Yeah, he's
Forever.
in like
Well, no, he's-
Pacific Rim or something.
John
he's-
Boyega is in Pacific
That's
Rim.
what I mean.
But
no,
even then-
Kylo
Even
is in
Even
like
then, he's Finn.
Logan Lucky. Kylo.
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was in stuff
See,
before.
I'm calling him Kylo right
It's
now.
the same thing. Yeah, Sam, that's exactly the point. Is that once you're a Star Wars actor, you're a Star Wars actor, and you're not anything else.
Yeah.
like,
anything
you're
major.
paid. You're paid enough to
Yeah,
where
no,
you
I
don't
mean-
have
no,
to be
yeah.
I
in
think,
another movie.
Like I get the whole thing is I'm an actor. It's my job. It's my passion. I want to be other things except for this. But like on the other hand,
you got a big
you're-
part.
You're
Roll
freaking
with
You're
it.
Princess
in
Leia.
Star
Like,
yeah.
Wars.
you know, you're cool. Like you're way cooler than
Roll with
most other actors.
Yeah.
So that's a problem with making. It's like the problem with making an Obi-Wan movie is like Ewan McGregor's knocking at your door asking to do it, and they're like, I don't know.
it. Poor guy.
And then Han Solo's, and then Harrison Ford just did it. Harrison Ford is like, I will never play Han Solo again. He wanted to die in Return of the Jedi. He hates playing Han Solo. And the
Dang.
only reason he agreed to do Force Awakens is because they killed him.
They killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, he wants to do other stuff. So he's not going to be in the Han Solo movie. It's going to be a younger Han Solo. Someone else doing it. Like,
Ah.
yeah.
Oof, that's gonna be weird.
Yeah, young Han and
That's
young
gonna be
Lando
weird.
getting into sticky situations.
Yeah.
I know the actor for Lando.
Jimmy Williams? Something Williams.
Yeah,
I don't know
so-
if it's Jimmy. It may be.
Yeah, well,
That sounds
I know he loved playing Lando.
Yeah.
He says he wants
But
to
it was
be
a
in
minor, or not minor, but
No,
it was
he's-
a lesser character.
He's like, this is a reference that will not help people understand, but he's like Suki in Avatar: The Last Airbender, where
Shut up.
he's part of the gang. Like she's part of the gang, but then she's not really. But
Yeah.
she is, but she's not.
I'm sorry.
And
What
Lando,
podcast was this?
Lando,
Star Wars.
we're gonna do an Airbender one day. I swear to God.
the.
I'll have
we
to
are.
watch it first.
Lando was in the group, but he wasn't really in the group. But he's in the group.
But
He
he's-
flies the Millennium Falcon. He's in the group. Nien Nub is in the group.
Yin Yang.
He flies the Millennium.
Reese.
Reese is not in the group.
Yo, was Yin Nub? Was he
In
in
this
the
movie?
movie?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I saw him and I was
And-
like, badass.
Doesn't he die?
That's my boy.
No,
Is he-
I don't think he does.
He doesn't die.
I think he makes it out.
Admiral
I'm pretty sure he's-
Akbar dies,
Akbar-
and
Akbar
all they
dies.
say is like Admiral Akbar dies. End of his whole
Yeah,
career.
Akbar, diehard fans were pissed. They were like, "What the fuck?"
Like, he didn't do
They
anything in the
exist?
other movies, though.
It's a trap, Christian. It's a freaking trap.
Oh, wow, he's
Everyone
a
would have
man.
died if he hadn't said it.
Yo,
Apparently,
do they think that's like the best line ever?
it's a
Like
trap.
the fans, they're just like, it's a trap. Oh my god, that's awesome.
I'm sure there are people who think that.
What a god.
Yeah. Thank you for warning me. Thank you for warning me, Daddy Akbar.
Daddy Akbar.
God.
It's, but seriously, like they just killed him off without saying
Yeah.
anything. And then where's Lando? Where is he?
Yeah,
Where is he
he
this whole
wants
time?
to play Lando. Like that guy,
I know.
he's.
There's
he
no way
said
he's not in 9. There's no way that he's not in
He
episode
needs
9.
to make
Because
That would be
him and
pretty cool.
Maz need to be like hanging out, like in a scene.
Whoa,
Yeah.
That
would
would
be
be badass.
Yeah.
I'm calling it right now. Lando and Maz are gonna be hanging out
Be a
like
good-
just
good
at a bar.
conversation, yeah.
Yeah.
I know, and then because Lando is pretty cool, and he's probably going to be the co-star in if they make a Han Solo movie, which is more confirmed than the Obi-Wan one for sure.
Yeah.
But if they make that, it's going to be like Han and Lando getting into some situations, you know, like wacky
Before
stuff.
Chewie.
And I mean, Chewie may be there.
Are they
I
gonna
don't-
do the-
They may do like the how Chewie met Han.
Yeah.
That actually probably already exists as a comic book or something.
Yeah.
But it's not
It may,
canon
it
now.
may be Legends. It may, I don't know. But either way, it's like
and
that would be cool if
What
Chewie
are
and Han
legends, Jack?
Yeah.
Star Wars Legends is the shit that existed before Disney bought Star Wars in the 2012 merger. Disney decided what was canon and what wasn't, and everything that wasn't canon that was written before in books or comic books or TV shows or whatever, that became
Exit.
Star Wars Legends. And so it didn't actually happen in the Star Wars universe, but it still exists.
Yeah. Still Star Wars stuff
Yeah,
out there.
the only
it's
stuff that's
just-
canon is the movies, the select books that they chose, and the Clone Wars and Rebels, unfortunately. Fuck Rebels.
Yeah.
The
Personal
only
opinion.
cool thing about Rebels
Is
is the
Ahsoka.
characters from the Clone Wars. Freaking Ahsoka's in it, Rex is in it, Maul is in it, and then even Hondo shows. Hondo shows up.
Hondo.
Hondo Onaka, the pirate.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Excellent,
cool.
excellent character. But I think they made him look dumb. Pretty sure you can put a picture of him up in the Rebels in the Clone
Yeah,
Wars.
I'll
compare.
put a picture of
Yeah.
him right here.
It's stupid, but they made everything look stupid in Rebels. The show's a kid show. It's super dumb. Super dumb. Clone Wars is amazing. 10 out of 10. Go watch it. My rant's over. Excuse me.
Anything else that we need to cover?
I think I said
for this
everything I wanted
movie?
to say about it. I mean, it's really good. Out of 10, I'm gonna try to just rate it not including how much I love Star Wars. I'm just
9?
gonna talk about like
Oh, 10.
like out of 10.
Oh,
Scale
yeah,
of
yeah.
1 to 10. I'm gonna give it like a 7. I think
Yeah,
in
that's what I
terms
was
of a
thinking.
movie, like just an independent movie on its own in the Star Wars universe. It's pretty cool.
Well, I don't know. I mean, did y'all feel that this movie gave more of a Star Wars vibe than Force Awakens?
No,
No.
You think Force Awakens had more of the
It
Star
was
Wars
that
vibe?
was on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Force Awakens did everything they could to remind people what they love about Star Wars
Yeah.
and to make people forget about
The
what they
remake.
hate about it. It was like, hey, you remember that ship, the Millennium Falcon? There it is. Remember Han and Chewie? There they are.
Yeah.
They actually had moments where they were like, everyone
This is what
everyone
you want?
stop and stare at this. Like, here's Leia. There she is. You know,
Yeah.
like, there's Luke standing there. You know, it's like they did that on purpose. This movie was purposely different, and I give him credit for doing that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm curious as to see what this next 9 that's gonna be like the finale, the big one.
Yeah.
I guess
How
we
it's
can
going
get.
to end.
I guess we can get into like those theories, like our own personal theories, and like
think-
what we think is gonna happen.
I
Yeah, I
think-
mean, I don't necessarily have one, but you guys can go ahead.
in 9 it's going to be JJ again, and I think he's going to be tasked with this. It's a very hard job to conclude a trilogy,
Yeah.
and because they usually the conclusion is the best one. In Star Wars is different because Empire is better than Return of the Jedi, but like objectively that's what people say. I like them both. I don't know. I think Empire's better. I think
Well,
Empire's
hell,
better, but because
he's having to conclude a trilogy
It's
of
hard.
trilogies.
Yeah, a
it's
trilogy
like
of
that
a
is-
it's
trilogy.
the ninth.
huge.
Yeah, it's a big deal, and he
See, 3, like episode 3 was easy. You just turn Anakin into Darth Vader in that one, and you have Obi-Wan and Anakin fight. Like
Yeah.
that was kind of almost
It's-
seen.
it's
Where they
like-
had a point that
Yeah.
they needed to reach.
Yeah.
you knew what the conclusion was going to be
Right.
before you even made the movie.
Exactly.
It's pretty easy. This one's like super open ended. Return of the Jedi was like, yay, happy ending, the end. We're here
Yeah.
hanging out with the Ewoks. Go buy your Ewok toy.
Yeah.
But in this, then it became up. Just kidding. Mon Mothma decided to not create a Republic army, so the Republic exists with no army. So Leia had to branch off and make the Resistance. Luke made his Jedi Academy. Kylo fucked it up. First Order exists because Sidious's plan. Like someone had to come up with all that stuff.
right.
Like that's
New characters.
It's a lot of stuff. Yeah, and then you put new characters in. Everything.
That's one of the hardest parts.
And likable people.
Yeah.
Like I think Poe is great.
I love Poe.
I love Poe. Yeah.
I wasn't even mad that he got all those people killed because they're just red shirts anyway.
Yeah.
People are gonna die. Like, people are gonna die.
Well, okay.
You know,
going back to
Poe's cool.
this movie.
BB-8's cool. I don't care that he's merchandise. BB-8's cool.
Yeah, I like BB-8, but
He's got a personality.
one thing that just like caught me off guard, and I guess this is why it didn't feel as Star Warsy to me, was the presence of stormtroopers, or I guess First Order troopers, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
There was little to none. Like there
Yeah.
was no big fight. It was a lot of spaceship fights, but there weren't like the only presence that they had was to show that there were a lot of them
on that ship.
And you know they
were really background characters.
yeah they didn't do anything significant. You know, they almost killed Finn and Rose, but that scene didn't even need to happen.
Yeah.
So like same thing with Phasma. It was a cool fight.
I didn't actually think about that. That's just a good point. The presence of stormtroopers makes it more of a Star Wars movie than that. And same thing, clones, same. Yeah. The other thing that I thought about the reason I didn't think it was a little less of a Star Wars feel, there were no lightsaber fights. Like no lightsaber on lightsaber action.
Yeah,
that's no saber on saber stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's what my brother, that was his biggest grope about.
There wasn't any.
I mean, Rey and Kylo didn't ever clash swords, and Luke didn't he didn't swing it because he wasn't actually there.
Well, there was one.
That's true.
There was one lightsaber contact, and that was when Luke almost killed Kylo, and Kylo forced his lightsaber and blocked. That's the only part.
And
in
that
the
was
movie.
like a flashback. So
that was a flashback. So technically, it didn't happen in the present.
The movie didn't have any lightsaber fights.
No, yeah.
It had lightsabers.
That was
used,
my brother.
But it didn't have any lightsaber fights. Whereas the prequels are chock full of them.
Yeah.
There's 20,000 lightsabers on screen in episode 2 in the arena.
Yeah. So many that they can't get some of the colors right.
Coyote Mooney's lightsaber changes from blue to green. Go watch that scene again when he's getting on the ship at the end when they're like being evacuated. His lightsaber changes from blue to green. I swear to God, and then changes back to blue.
It's up right now. It's playing right now.
Yeah, you see it? Look at his lightsaber. Look at his tall head. Old fucking dude.
Damn.
Anyway.
Another point that I wanted to bring up is I have a hard time seeing why Kylo is such this little angry prick. And like I get that he's mad and he wants a completely like redone, fresh slate, but he almost gets that at the end of the movie, but he's still this just
pissed
angry
off.
Dude. Like he's just anger fuels this kid.
What happened is it's his character. But he got compromised by the dark side. He turned to the dark side, and we saw it happen in the movie. His decision to turn, he was being drawn to the dark side, like a lot of Jedi are, but he was giving into the temptation under the training of Luke.
He accepted it.
Luke was like, I gotta kill this guy, and then he said, no, I shouldn't, and then Kylo was like, you're about to kill me? Yeah. So then he's like, my master, the only thing that is keeping me on the light side, just tried to kill me. So I must be a Sith. Yeah. So he's bad, and now he hates Luke because, why wouldn't you? And then Snoke is like, do blah, 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 and you'll have so much power. So, I can see why he's a little angry.
Yeah, it's just like he's...
Well, and he's also, I guess, he was also Snoke's errand boy.
Yeah.
Like, he was doing everything Snoke asked him to. And Darth Vader was to an extent, but, like, not to the extent of Kylo.
We didn't even see... We thought Darth Vader was in charge.
Yeah.
For all of A New Hope and 2/3 of Empire. Mm-hmm. Darth Vader is the man in command.
Yeah.
And then we find out that he's not. And then he kills that guy.
Yep.
But there must be some big bad that they have to fight in Episode 9 because Kylo and Rey are both a little on the gray Jedi side. They're both a little gray. I think they were hinting at without saying it, because that's too Star Wars nerdy, they were hinting at the fact that Rey or Kylo could become a gray Jedi, which is when you don't...
Neutral.
You're neutral. You use the Force. You don't follow Jedi code, but you're not evil.
Yeah.
So it's like, Ahsoka in Rebels. And they were kind of hinting at that either one of them could become that. Mm-hmm. Because Rey so easily went into the dark pit.
Yeah.
She didn't even bother resisting, and Kylo is bad, but he likes Rey, wants to be good, I guess, on the inside.
Well, he's so confused.
He's very confused.
See, I'm thinking a lot of it has to do with him killing Han. And he wanted to, but the more he thinks about it and ponders on it, it's a lot of Snoke's influence of you have to do this to prove to yourself, to prove to yourself and to prove to me that you are Kylo Ren. You know, not Ben Kenobi. I mean, Ben.
What a
Solo.
twist that would be.
Yeah, sorry.
Ben Kenobi.
Ben
Ben Solo.
Kenobi.
But
Well, that's why they named him Ben. But,
Yeah.
you know.
This guy that both of them knew for like 2 seconds.
yeah,
Doesn't really make any sense when you think about it. I guess Luke told him stories, but he only knew him for like a day. So
Yeah.
anyway, still cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, with 9, like there's gonna be some big bad guy they have to fight.
Or big bag entity.
Something they have to fight. Like
Or else.
because it's not gonna be like
they have to conclude it.
yeah, there's not gonna be. I mean, Kylo's either gonna die or he's gonna turn good.
Well, see,
That's what's gonna happen.
they
It's
made
gonna eliminate the bad.
And it's gonna get rid of like General Hux and all the First Order. Also, that scene with Hux where he repeats Kylo's order louder, and Kylo gives him that like, what the fuck are you talking? Like that.
Yeah.
That was really funny. That
Well,
was a good
that's-
scene.
I feel like that's gonna be an interesting
Because
dynamic.
when Hux he pulls his gun out, he's about to kill him.
yeah,
When Kylo's
he
laying
puts it
there,
away.
and then he puts it away. Cool.
Because
Like,
Hux wants to be in power, but
Yeah.
he has
zero power.
Yeah,
like,
zero power.
Actual
He's an errand boy.
physical power.
yeah.
Like, but yeah. How I think they're gonna really end 9, they're gonna leave it like they're gonna end it by leaving it open ended.
It's not gonna be
It's not gonna
the
be a
conclusion that people think it's gonna be.
no.
Because Disney is prepared to make a trillion more movies
Yeah.
because they'll make 20 trillion more dollars
Yeah,
at least.
that's what I'm scared.
and
about.
it's Star Wars.
That they're just going to keep making movies.
Yeah.
I
it
don't see
needs-
that as a bad thing personally, as long as they don't lose the
vision.
the purpose.
Yeah,
like
they're-
we're making these movies because we want to sell toys and we want money, but also because we love Star Wars and people love Star Wars so much that they deserve more
Right.
content.
And that's like, either way, you know, if you want to sell toys and all that jazz, make a different movie. Like, don't do it with Star Wars. Star Wars needs to be like
Star Wars is a
canon.
sacred thing.
Yeah. Don't mess up my movie. Do
It's-
it with Avengers, and you know that's
Yeah,
fine.
what's going to be the cute little thing in Infinity
No,
War?
there's gonna be something. There's
the Infinity
somewhere,
Gauntlet. I
yeah.
get a stuffed Thanos. That's a whole nother podcast. Once the Infinity War comes to
We should honestly do
closer.
it before like after Black Panther,
Yeah,
and then we should do one after Infinity War because
we should watch
we
Black
should do
Panther
our
together.
anticipation stuff, and then the what did we think of the Infinity
I
War.
mean,
Yeah.
I'd be down to just really any movie that we see.
Make this
You know,
really
anything
a movie
that's just a good
Or
podcast.
like we'll
talk
also
about
do
watch
like,
a show.
Yeah.
watch a show, play a video game that's like a story based one or something like that, or maybe like even we could just do whatever. Like this is like the second podcast we do. The first one was all on Overwatch and a new character that came out. This one is really all about Star Wars.
When I dated, it was Sombra. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I
Sombra,
know that was.
There's been 3 more heroes after that, right?
4.
4?
Well, okay.
No,
Sombra.
3.
Then
Doomfist,
yeah,
Orisa, Doomfist, Moira.
yeah, 3.
it's
Yeah,
3.
3.
Not 4.
I was counting Sombra.
Not
Yeah.
not 4. But yeah, there's been 3 new heroes. But like we've all kind of fell off of Overwatch.
Who? Maybe you.
I have.
Not me.
Well, no,
Okay,
like-
I'll say
Okay,
this.
this is part of this podcast. This is part of this
We
podcast.
fell off of it, then got back on it.
Yeah.
Is what happened.
We
Christian,
need a break.
Yeah, no, it's understandable. Hey, if you're playing Overwatch competitive right now, take a break.
Take a break.
Take a break. It's too
I
much sometimes.
haven't played a competitive game for like 3 competitive seasons.
And how do you feel? You feel better on the inside?
I honestly do. I feel like a
Get
lot
back
of
to it.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of stress has just left my
Get on that
system.
grind. You gotta get that gold gun.
Dude, I'm so close to my next gold gun. I have one right now.
Yeah, I
for
need to
Rodon.
at least place this season to get my gold gun.
We can do
Yeah,
that.
I need to do that. I
Season
just
that?
need to place
We have to do it tonight.
What?
tonight.
No.
This isn't part of the thing, but like, yeah.
When
Unless
does
you
it
want me
end?
to do it.
When does it end?
It was like 10 days as of 2 days ago, so 8 days. We're gonna be in Disney.
God damn it.
Wow.
That doesn't need to be in the podcast,
God damn
but
it.
that we need to do it.
I'll
I can do them for you.
some of them.
But like,
I can do it for
You guys can go back and forth. Honestly, I don't care.
you're just wanting to place for the gold gun.
Yeah, I don't really care. Yeah.
I mean, I'll play.
But yeah,
Really?
Yeah, it's fine.
sorry.
Yeah.
guys, I think that this is where we're gonna
That
end it.
about does it. Yeah.
Yeah. So overall consensus, still overall with 3 of us, I still like the movie, even going through all its like little flaws here and there, and even the whole casino thing. It didn't ruin the movie
Yeah.
for me.
No.
It was watchable, but like if I saw it again, like if I owned the movie and I saw that, I might fast forward
Fast
that.
forward that
Yeah,
part.
if you fell
Do
asleep
that.
during that part, you're not missing out.
You'd be fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's cool. You should watch it.
It is visually as I said, eye candy. That whole part.
The little like horse dog things
Yeah.
are kind of cool.
Oh, what's the last thing I was gonna say? Very very quick. The whole point of that, the other point of that scene that I liked was the Benicio del Toro's character reveals to them that like there's this thing where all these people that are on the casino planet are super rich because they're selling like stuff
Oh, yeah.
to the Empire, but they're also selling stuff to the Resistance. So it's like
I was
another
gonna
thing
bring
about
that up.
balance where people aren't just evil or good necessarily. They're both. Like these people just don't care.
Yeah, they're just in it for
money.
money.
Yeah, just like Disney. What a segue!
Oh my God.
All right.
Wow.
Bye everyone.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in to the Triple Tap podcast. We hope to keep doing these podcasts. I would like to do them like
Yeah, if there's anything in particular that you know,
Yeah,
You
couple
want
of
us to
people
talk about
want
and we
yeah,
like
we could
it?
do it.
yeah. So
We have opinions.
yeah, we have opinions. We love to share them. We
There are
don't.
hours we don't just hop on bandwagons.
Yeah, we will watch a bunch of other people's opinions and like we'll still have our own at the end of the day.
And if you don't have an opinion and you want one, we have some pretty good ones. So if
Yeah.
there's someone you want to trust to tell you what you think, we're right here.
Right here for you, just for you. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Adios.